Your soulmate is about to call. One unexpected message has changed everything. My beloved child, stop for a moment and listen carefully, because sometimes one unexpected message can awaken emotions that have been sleeping beneath the surface for far longer than anyone realizes. My beloved child, perhaps you have been wondering why the energy around your soulmate suddenly feels different, why their name keeps coming into your thoughts, why an old conversation keeps replaying in your mind, or why you feel as though something is about to happen even though you cannot see it yet. You may have sent a message without realizing how deeply those words would affect the person on the other side. Perhaps it was a simple message, perhaps it was something heartfelt, perhaps it was only a few words, but sometimes the smallest communication arrives at the exact moment when someone's heart is already questioning everything. My beloved child, your soulmate may have looked at that message and felt something they were not prepared to confront. They may have read it once, then again, then placed the phone down because they suddenly did not know what to say. They may have wondered whether to answer immediately or wait. They may have considered calling you, then stopped because fear became louder than courage. But something has shifted. The message may have opened a door that silence had kept closed. My beloved child, you may not know what is happening inside your soulmate's mind, and you do not need to pretend that you do. What matters is that you remain grounded while allowing their choices to reveal their intentions. You cannot force someone to call. You cannot control another person's emotions. You cannot create genuine love through pressure. But you can remain calm, protect your peace, and allow communication to happen naturally. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate has been carrying words they never had the courage to say. Maybe they have wanted to explain why they became distant. Maybe they have wanted to apologize. Maybe they have wanted to tell you that they still remember the connection. Maybe they have wanted to admit that your absence affected them more deeply than they expected. And now your unexpected message has made those hidden feelings harder to ignore. My beloved child, sometimes people become comfortable with silence because silence gives them control. As long as nothing is said, they do not have to answer difficult questions. They do not have to explain their choices. They do not have to admit that they still care. But when a message arrives, silence suddenly becomes a choice instead of an automatic state. Your soulmate may now be asking themselves whether they are ready to make a choice. Will they continue hiding, or will they finally communicate? My beloved child, this is why you must not send another message simply because you feel anxious. You have already opened the door. Let them decide whether they will walk through it. If they want to talk, they know how to reach you. If they want to call, they can call. If they need time, allow them to take that time without turning their delay into a judgment against your worth. My beloved child, your value is not measured by how quickly someone responds. Your value existed before this person entered your life, and it will remain regardless of what they choose. Remember this whenever your mind begins creating painful stories. You do not know everything. You do not need to know everything. You only need to stay connected to what is true in your own life. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate is holding their phone right now and thinking about pressing your name. Maybe they are nervous about what they will hear. Maybe they are afraid that you no longer care. Maybe they are worried that you will reject them. Maybe they are wondering whether too much time has passed. Maybe they have rehearsed an opening line many times in their head. Hello, how have you been? I wanted to talk to you. I have been thinking about you. Can we talk? These simple sentences can carry enormous emotional weight when two people have been separated by silence. My beloved child, if the call comes, remember not to rush. You do not have to immediately explain every feeling you have carried. You do not have to demand every answer in the first minute. You do not have to decide whether the relationship will continue before the conversation has even finished. Let the call be a conversation. Let the truth come out gradually. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate's voice will sound different. Maybe they will sound nervous. Maybe they will speak more slowly than usual. Maybe they will laugh awkwardly because they do not know how to begin. Maybe there will be long pauses. Do not automatically interpret every pause as something negative. Sometimes people pause because they are trying to find the courage to say something vulnerable. But also remember that you are not responsible for filling every silence. Let them speak. Let them own their feelings. My beloved child, if they finally tell you that they missed you, listen. If they say they regret what happened, listen. If they say they were afraid, listen. If they say they still have feelings, listen. Then ask yourself what their words mean in the context of their actions. Words can reveal emotions, but actions reveal readiness. A person can genuinely miss someone and still not be prepared for a relationship. A person can genuinely care and still need personal growth. A person can regret something and still need to prove that they have changed. My beloved child, this is why you should not make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotional moment. Let the call open the conversation, not close the question. If something meaningful is possible, it will have time to develop. My beloved child, perhaps the unexpected message has changed the way your soulmate sees the past. Maybe they had been telling themselves that the relationship was over and that they had moved forward. Then your name appeared, and suddenly memories returned. They remembered your conversations. They remembered the way you understood them. They remembered the moments when they felt safe with you. They remembered your laughter. They remembered your patience. They remembered the little things they once overlooked. My beloved child, distance can sometimes reveal the value of something that constant proximity made easy to ignore. When someone is always available, people can forget to appreciate them. When that person becomes distant, the emotional space can become noticeable. But you must not use this as a reason to manipulate or punish someone. Simply allow healthy space to reveal what is genuine. If they truly value the connection, their choices will eventually demonstrate that. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate has been comparing their current life with the emotional connection they once had with you. Maybe they have discovered that not every connection feels the same. Maybe they have met other people and realized that something was missing. Maybe they have tried to distract themselves but found that memories of you continue to return. These experiences may be leading them toward a conversation. But again, let them communicate rather than creating the entire story for them. My beloved child, you do not need to become a detective. You do not need to analyze every online activity, every delay, every small sign, or every coincidence. Your peace deserves better than constant investigation. If someone wants to tell you something, let them tell you. If they want to call, let them call. If they want to rebuild, let them demonstrate it. My beloved child, perhaps the call you have been waiting for is closer than you think, but the most important preparation is not charging your phone or waiting beside it. The most important preparation is preparing your heart to remain calm. You may have imagined what you would say. You may have planned the perfect response. You may have imagined them apologizing or confessing their feelings. But real conversations rarely follow the script in your head. Be willing to hear something unexpected. Be willing to pause. Be willing to say, "I need time to think about that." You do not owe anyone an immediate answer simply because they finally decided to call. My beloved child, your time matters. Your emotional safety matters. Your boundaries matter. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate has been hiding a truth because they fear that admitting it will change everything. Maybe they know that once they say they still care, they cannot easily return to pretending. Maybe they know that calling you could reopen emotions they have tried to control. Maybe they fear that you will ask questions they are not ready to answer. But if they genuinely want clarity, they must eventually become brave enough to face those questions. Love requires courage. My beloved child, you cannot provide that courage for them. You can only decide whether you will receive them if they choose honesty. If they call, do not make their fear your responsibility. You can be compassionate, but you do not have to carry the entire emotional burden. Let them take responsibility for what they feel and what they choose. My beloved child, perhaps the unexpected message has also changed you. Maybe you sent it because you wanted closure. Maybe you sent it because you missed them. Maybe you sent it because you simply wanted to say what was in your heart. Whatever the reason, now you have an opportunity to observe what happens next. You have already expressed yourself. You do not need to chase the outcome. My beloved child, this is where patience becomes powerful. Patience does not mean sitting around doing nothing. It means continuing your life while allowing another person the freedom to make their own choice. Keep working. Keep growing. Keep spending time with people who value you. Keep pursuing you. Child, if your soulmate calls, pay attention to whether they are ready to communicate about real issues. Are they willing to talk about what happened? Are they willing to acknowledge their part? Are they willing to hear your experience? Are they willing to discuss what needs to change? Are they willing to show consistency after the conversation? These questions matter more than dramatic declarations. My beloved child, a powerful reunion can feel like a movie scene, but real love is often built through ordinary moments. Returning calls. Keeping promises. Showing up. Asking how the other person is doing. Communicating during difficult moments. Respecting boundaries. Making plans and following through. These simple things create security. If your soulmate truly wants to return, look for these things. My beloved child, perhaps this is why the unexpected message has become so significant. It may have started a conversation that could eventually lead to deeper honesty. But let it develop naturally. Do not demand that one message become a relationship overnight. Give the process room. My beloved child, maybe your soulmate will call and say that they were surprised by your message. They may admit that they did not know whether to respond. They may say that your words made them think about the past. They may tell you that they have been carrying emotions they never expressed. If they do, listen carefully. Let them finish. Ask questions if needed. You do not need to decide immediately whether everything they say is true. You can hear them and then observe what follows. My beloved child, trust is not rebuilt through one conversation. It is rebuilt through repeated experiences of honesty. If they want your trust, allow them to earn it. This is not punishment. It is reality. My beloved child, you can be open without being naive. You can forgive without forgetting your lessons. You can love without abandoning your boundaries. You can believe in second chances while still requiring change. This balance is not coldness. It is wisdom. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate has been hiding the fact that they are afraid of losing you permanently. They may have assumed that you would always be there. But now your message may have reminded them that time moves forward. People change. Opportunities change. Hearts can heal. They may realize that if they want to say something, they cannot postpone it forever. That realization can create urgency. But do not allow their urgency to become pressure on you. You can move at a healthy pace. My beloved child, if they call late at night in an emotional state, you can still say that you want to continue the conversation when both of you are calmer. If they suddenly want everything resolved immediately, you can slow down. If they become emotional, you can listen without promising anything. If they apologize, you can acknowledge the apology without immediately restoring the same level of trust. Your heart deserves time. My beloved child, perhaps the hidden truth is that you are no longer willing to accept the same treatment you once tolerated. Maybe you have grown. Maybe you have learned that love should not constantly leave you anxious. Maybe you have learned that someone can be important to you without being allowed to hurt you repeatedly. Maybe you have learned that boundaries are not rejection. Boundaries are instructions for how you need to be treated. My beloved child, if your soulmate is ready to understand that, the call could become a meaningful turning point. If they are not, the call may reveal that too. Either way, you gain something valuable, clarity. My beloved child, you have spent enough time wondering what they might say. Instead, prepare yourself to hear what they actually say. Do not listen only for confirmation of what you hope is true. Listen for the whole truth. If they say they care, ask what they want. If they say they want another chance, ask what will change. If they say they are sorry, listen for accountability. If they say they need time, decide what healthy boundaries look like for you. My beloved child, you do not have to accept indefinite uncertainty simply because someone is confused. You can respect their confusion while respecting your own need for clarity. Both can exist. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate is not the only person changing. You are changing too. You are learning not to chase. You are learning not to over-explain. You are learning not to interpret every silence as rejection. You are learning to trust your own ability to handle whatever comes next. This growth is valuable. My beloved child, imagine the confidence of knowing that whether your soulmate calls or not, you will continue moving forward. Imagine not feeling destroyed by a delayed response. Imagine not needing constant reassurance. Imagine knowing that your future has possibilities beyond this one connection. That is the foundation from which healthy love can grow. My beloved child, if they call and you still love them, you can say so. There is no shame in admitting your feelings. But say it from strength rather than desperation. I still care about you, and I am open to understanding what you want. That is different from, please do not leave me. The first expresses love. The second places your emotional survival in another person's hands. Keep your survival in your own hands. My beloved child, you deserve to choose love rather than depend on it for your identity. That distinction can transform everything. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate is finally beginning to understand the impact of their absence. Maybe they believed that you would forget them. Maybe they thought you were stronger than you really felt. Maybe they assumed that silence was easier for you too. Your message may have shown them that the connection still matters. But again, the next step belongs to them. Let them show you what they are willing to do. My beloved child, you cannot build a future on assumptions about what someone secretly feels. You can only build it on what they are willing to communicate and demonstrate. So if they call, listen. If they show up, observe. If they remain consistent, allow trust to grow. If they disappear again, take that information seriously. You do not need to keep making excuses for patterns that repeatedly hurt you. My beloved child, compassion should never require self-betrayal. You can understand someone and still decide that their behavior is not healthy for you. You can believe that they have pain without volunteering to be harmed by it. You can care about their journey without becoming responsible for completing it. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate has been hiding feelings because they have not fully healed from something in their own past. Maybe they fear intimacy. Maybe they fear rejection. Maybe they fear commitment. Whatever the reason, they must eventually take responsibility for working through those fears. You can support someone, but you cannot heal them by loving harder. My beloved child, if the call happens, allow the conversation to be honest about these things. Ask what they have learned. Ask what they want now. Ask what they believe needs to change. The answers may tell you more than a romantic confession ever could. My beloved child, perhaps the unexpected message has made your soulmate realize that the opportunity for reconnection may not remain forever. People sometimes assume they have unlimited time. They assume that they can return whenever they are ready and everything will be exactly as they left it. But life does not always work that way. You are changing. They are changing. Circumstances are changing. If they want to rebuild something, they must participate while the opportunity exists. My beloved child, do not freeze yourself in the past waiting for someone to become ready. Keep moving. If they catch up, you can decide whether you still want to walk together. If they do not, you will still have a path. My beloved child, perhaps that sounds difficult because your heart wants certainty. But certainty does not come from controlling someone else's behavior. It comes from knowing that you can handle whatever happens. That is the kind of certainty you can build. You can know that you will protect your dignity. You can know that you will listen carefully. You can know that you will not abandon your values. You can know that you will continue living. That is enough. My beloved child, if the call comes, remember to listen for what is being said beneath the emotion. If they say, "I miss you," perhaps they are lonely. If they say, "I love you," perhaps they are sincere. But ask what they want to do with those feelings. Love becomes meaningful when it creates action. My beloved child, if they want to rebuild, let them participate in rebuilding. If they want to regain trust, let them demonstrate consistency. If they want to reconnect, let them communicate regularly. If they want to make plans, let them follow through. Do not carry their promises for them. Let their actions carry their promises. My beloved child, perhaps the call will begin awkwardly, but do not judge the entire future by the first few minutes. Difficult conversations often take time to become comfortable. Give room for honesty. Give room for mistakes. Give room for clarification. But also remember that you are allowed to end a conversation if it becomes disrespectful or harmful. Peace remains your priority. My beloved child, your heart can be soft and your boundaries can be firm. You do not have to choose between love and self-respect. You can have both. My beloved child, maybe your soulmate will say, "I did not know how to reach out." If so, ask what they know now. Maybe they will say, "I was afraid." Ask what they are willing to do despite that fear. Maybe they will say, "I regret what happened." Ask how they want to repair it. These questions move the conversation from explanation of moving forward. That is what strength looks like. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate is closer to making the call because your unexpected message reminded them that silence has a cost. Maybe they realize that every day they wait is another day in which the connection remains unresolved. Maybe they are tired of pretending. Maybe they are ready to say the things they have hidden. If that happens, let them speak. You do not need to force the truth out of them. My beloved child, when people finally become honest after a long period of silence, emotions can come quickly. Tears may appear. Regret may surface. Memories may return. Do not be afraid of emotion. Emotion is not automatically a problem. But remember that emotional intensity should not replace respectful behavior. Someone can cry and still need to change. Someone can apologize and still need to demonstrate consistency. Someone can say beautiful things and still need to follow through. My beloved child, receive emotion with compassion, but evaluate the relationship with wisdom. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate has been hiding their feelings because they thought you had moved on. Maybe your message surprised them because it revealed that you still care. They may now be wondering whether they still have a place in your life. But if they want to know, they must ask. You do not need to provide endless reassurance before they take the first step. My beloved child, love is not a guessing game. At some point, people must speak. At some point, intentions must become clear. At some point, choices must become visible. Perhaps that moment is approaching. My beloved child, if your soulmate calls, remember that you are not required to become their emotional home immediately. Let the connection rebuild gradually. Start with conversation. Then consistency. Then trust. Then deeper commitment if both people truly want it. There is no need to skip steps because the emotions are strong. My beloved child, slow love can be powerful. It gives people time to see whether their feelings survive ordinary life.